Picture this, you're a young rapper from the streets, hungry, talented, and ready to make your mark. You've got the bars, the flow, and the grind, but there's one problem: you don't have the connections, the money, or the platform to turn your dream into reality. That's when you hear a name that changes everything: Yo Gotti. Now, most people know Yo Gotti as a Memphis rap legend, a guy with hits on the charts and a swagger that commands respect. But behind the music, there's a mind that's just as sharp as any Wall Street mogul, a man who's quietly built an empire worth $500 million. And here's the kicker: a large part of that wealth didn't just come from his own music. It came from working with, and sometimes outsmarting, the next generation of rappers. Yo Gotti understands the game in a way most artists never will. He knows that talent alone doesn't make money, control does. He's mastered the art of creating opportunity for new rappers while making sure the lion's share of the profits flows directly into his pockets. To an outsider, it might look like mentorship. To an artist in the studio, it might feel like a golden ticket. But behind the scenes, it's a calculated system designed to maximize Gotti's influence and income. Over the years, countless up-and-coming artists have walked into his world, thinking they were signing a deal that would launch their careers. Some of them did blow up, but almost every time, Yo Gotti came out on top. From equity percentages to strategic promotion, from record deals to merchandise revenue, the moves are subtle, smart, and almost impossible to fight. In this video, we're going to break down exactly how Yo Gotti turned the dream of young rappers into a $500 million reality for himself. We'll take you behind the scenes of CMG, explore the deals, the strategy, and the street-smart maneuvering that allowed one man to finesse an entire generation of talent. By the end of this deep dive, you won't just see Yo Gotti as a rapper, you'll see him as a business mastermind who turned opportunity, ambition, and the hunger of others into an empire that most in hip-hop can only dream of. Yo Gotti didn't just appear on the hip-hop scene out of nowhere. Born Mario Mims in Memphis, Tennessee, in 1981, he grew up in a city where survival meant understanding the streets as much as understanding the music. Memphis wasn't just a backdrop, it was a classroom. And in that classroom, Gotti learned early that talent alone doesn't guarantee success. Opportunity, connections, and control were the real keys to building an empire. In the late 90s and early 2000s, Memphis had a thriving underground rap scene. Neighborhoods were alive with the sound of mixtapes being passed from hand to hand, block parties, and local shows that could make or break an aspiring artist's career. For a young rapper, it was a land of promise, but only for those who knew how to play the game. That's where Gotti came in. He wasn't just another rapper, he was a connector, a gatekeeper, someone who could open doors others didn't even know existed. From his earliest days, Gotti recognized a pattern: most young artists had raw talent but lacked direction, resources, or the business knowledge to turn that talent into wealth. He saw that the streets produced more artists than there were opportunities, and that gave him leverage. By positioning himself as someone who could provide studio time, production help, and local promotion, he created a system where new talent depended on him for exposure. Gotti's hustle wasn't just about music, it was about building a reputation for trust and reliability while subtly asserting dominance. He released his own projects independently, hustled mixtapes, and performed relentlessly. Every move was calculated to increase his influence. By the time he had a foothold in the Memphis rap scene, Gotti was no longer just competing, he was shaping the environment. Young artists sought him out, hoping for mentorship, a co-sign, or even just a chance to record in his studio. And Gotti, ever the strategist, knew exactly how to use that desire to his advantage. The beauty of Gotti's early hustle was subtle. He gave artists opportunities, but on his terms. He offered guidance, promotion, and a path to the spotlight, but the control always stayed with him. Whether it was a local collaboration, a mixtape feature, or advice on negotiating with other producers, he ensured that every step forward for an artist was also a step forward for his own influence. By the time many of these young rappers realized the stakes, they were already woven into the system Gotti had designed. This period in Memphis laid the foundation for what would later become CMG, Collective Music Group. Gotti wasn't just thinking about one career, he was thinking about building an empire. Every connection, every studio session, every local performance was a building block. By mastering the Memphis streets, mastering the underground rap game, and understanding the psychology of hungry artists, Gotti was setting the stage for the next level, turning mentorship into a multi-million-dollar operation that would eventually dominate the southern hip-hop scene and beyond. In Memphis, Yo Gotti learned that the real hustle wasn't just making music, it was controlling the business of music, and he was willing to play the long game to make sure he came out on top. By the time Yo Gotti had established himself as a household name in Memphis, he realized something crucial: being a successful rapper could only take him so far. Fame has a shelf life, and talent alone doesn't guarantee long-term wealth. That's when Gotti made a move that would change the trajectory of his career forever. He built his own label, CMG, Collective Music Group. The idea wasn't just to create a platform for his own music. It was to control the pipeline of talent, the flow of opportunity, and ultimately, the money. Unlike major labels that often sign artists en masse without real strategic thought, CMG was carefully curated. Gotti targeted artists with potential but little leverage, those who were hungry, ambitious, and willing to play by his rules. The genius in this approach was simple: he could give them the exposure they craved while retaining the majority of control and profits. CMG quickly became a magnet for aspiring rappers. Young artists saw Gotti's success, his influence in Memphis, and his ability to get major features and radio play. They wanted in. But what they didn't fully understand was that signing with CMG meant more than just making music. It meant entering a carefully structured system designed to benefit Gotti first. He controlled the contracts, the studio time, the collaborations, and the marketing strategy. By the time an artist saw their first big payday, Gotti had already secured his cut. Contracts at CMG were structured strategically. While the artists got the promise of promotion, production, and access to Gotti's network, Gotti ensured that he retained equity in their music, a share of royalties, and leverage over any outside deals. Many of these terms weren't unusual in the music industry, but Gotti had a way of presenting them as opportunities rather than restrictions. To an artist just trying to get heard, it felt like a break. To Gotti, it was a business move. Beyond the contracts, CMG also functioned as a mentorship incubator. Artists were taught how to perform, record, and market themselves, but they were always operating within a framework that benefited the label. Every collaboration, feature, or social media push was calculated to maximize exposure while keeping control in CMG's hands. Gotti wasn't just signing artists, he was building assets that would generate long-term revenue. Over time, CMG produced a string of successful artists who gained national attention. Some, like Moneybagg Yo, went on to become household names. And while the artists achieved fame, much of the financial upside, royalties, touring revenue, brand deals, was funneled back to the label. This wasn't just luck or timing, it was strategic empire building. Gotti understood that the true value in music wasn't just the hit song, it was ownership, control, and the ability to monetize every facet of an artist's career. In building CMG, Yo Gotti proved he was more than a rapper. He was a businessman who understood the intersection of talent, opportunity, and leverage. By creating a label that nurtured new talent while securing his financial position, he set the stage for a $500 million empire. CMG wasn't just a label, it was a system, a mechanism through which Gotti could continue to expand his influence, all while giving the appearance of mentorship to the artists he signed. In Memphis, Gotti had learned the streets. Now, with CMG, he was taking that hustle to a professional level, ensuring that the next generation of rappers would fuel not only their own dreams but also his fortune. Yo Gotti isn't just a rapper or label owner, he's a strategist, a master at finessing the flow of talent, hype, and money. In the music industry, it's not enough to have skill behind the mic. Success comes from timing, perception, and influence, and that's exactly where Gotti excels. Over the years, he's perfected the art of building careers while keeping the upper hand. Ensuring that even as new artists rise, he stays at the center of the action. At CMG, Gotti carefully orchestrates every move for his artists. Whether it's choosing the right feature, the right producer, or the right social media campaign, nothing is left to chance. He understands that momentum in music is everything. A well-timed feature, a strategically placed snippet on social media, or a viral freestyle can launch an artist overnight, but it also creates opportunities for Gotti to monetize their rise. He controls the narrative, often appearing to be the mentor or facilitator, while quietly stacking his own wealth in the process. One of Gotti's key tactics is selective exposure. Not every artist gets the spotlight at the same time. By controlling who is promoted and when, he creates scarcity and hype. This strategy ensures that his roster always appears exclusive, while the artists themselves feel lucky to have his backing. In reality, Gotti is manipulating supply and demand, turning attention into profit and influence. Collaboration is another tool in his arsenal. Gotti frequently pairs new talent with established artists, sometimes within CMG and sometimes with outside connections. These features boost the newcomer's profile, but the terms of these deals often benefit Gotti and his label first. By controlling revenue splits, publishing rights, and marketing angles, he ensures that even viral hits funnel money back to his empire. Artists gain fame, but the label captures the lion's share of the financial rewards. Beyond the business side, Gotti also understands psychology. He knows how to motivate artists without revealing the full extent of the system they're in. By offering guidance, mentorship, and access, he creates loyalty while subtly ensuring that power remains in his hands. Artists may think they're making independent decisions, but every move is often part of a carefully planned roadmap that serves both their careers and Gotti's bottom line. Social media has amplified Gotti's finesse. By strategically leaking collaborations, hinting at projects, and controlling appearances, he maintains constant attention on CMG's roster. The buzz generates streams, merch sales, and concert revenue, all feeding back into his empire. Even controversies or drama are leveraged to create hype, proving that in Gotti's hands, attention equals money. In essence, Yo Gotti's skill isn't just in spotting talent, it's in managing it like an investment portfolio. Each artist is a potential asset, each song a revenue stream, and each collaboration a way to strengthen his influence. By finessing the flow of talent and hype, he has created a system where the success of his artists inevitably leads to his own financial gain. In the next section, we'll dive deeper into how Gotti monetizes this hustle, turning exposure, attention, and influence into a $500 million empire that shows just how powerful strategic thinking can be in hip-hop. Yo Gotti's genius isn't just in spotting talent or orchestrating hype, it's in turning attention into money. While many rappers dream of going viral, dropping albums, or landing big features, few understand how to monetize every aspect of an artist's career. Gotti does. Over the past 2 decades, he's built a system where almost every move his artists make becomes a revenue stream for him, creating a financial engine that contributes to his estimated $500 million empire. At the core of Gotti's strategy is control over revenue streams. Through CMG, he maintains ownership stakes in his artists' music, which means he benefits from streaming royalties, publishing rights, and licensing deals. When a CMG artist drops a single that blows up on Spotify, Apple Music, or TikTok, Gotti doesn't just share in the exposure, he shares in the profits. This is a key reason why many new rappers, despite reaching viral fame, often see only a fraction of the revenue they generate. Touring is another area where Gotti excels at monetization. While artists focus on performing, Gotti ensures that ticket sales, merchandising, and sponsorships are strategically structured so that the label benefits as much as possible. CMG often negotiates tours, showcases, and appearances that place the label front and center, allowing Gotti to profit from everything from VIP packages to branded merchandise. For young artists, it feels like a dream opportunity, but for Gotti, it's business as usual. Brand deals and endorsements also play a major role. Gotti leverages his reputation, connections, and the visibility of his roster to secure partnerships with clothing lines, alcohol brands, and lifestyle products. CMG artists gain exposure, but Gotti ensures the terms favor his label and brand. By keeping a hand in every deal, he maximizes revenue without relying solely on music sales. Even digital strategy is monetized. Social media campaigns, viral videos, and teaser content are carefully orchestrated to drive streams, downloads, and brand engagement. Every post, collaboration, and announcement is an opportunity to convert attention into cash. Unlike many artists who leave money on the table, Gotti understands that in modern hip-hop, visibility equals profitability. This approach extends beyond traditional music channels. Gotti invests in publishing, sync licensing, and media rights, ensuring that CMG artists' work can be monetized across film, TV, and commercial projects. By thinking long-term, he captures revenue that many artists might never consider, further solidifying his financial dominance. What makes this system so effective is its balance of opportunity and control. Artists get access to the resources, mentorship, and exposure they need to succeed. They rise in fame, gain fans, and build personal brands. But at every turn, Gotti retains leverage, turning their hustle into his empire. It's not just about producing hits, it's about structuring every element of the business to create recurring, compounding revenue. By mastering this approach, Yo Gotti has done what few rappers achieve. He's built a multi-layered financial machine where talent, exposure, and hard work converge, and almost every dollar ultimately flows back to him. His empire proves that in hip-hop, business acumen is as critical as lyrical skill. In hip-hop, credibility isn't just a bonus, it's currency. And for Yo Gotti, street credibility has been one of the most powerful tools in building his empire. From the beginning, Gotti understood that to dominate both the streets and the industry, he had to balance authenticity with strategy. His reputation as someone who comes from the struggle, who knows the streets, and who keeps it real, gives him leverage over artists, fans, and even rivals. Street cred plays a crucial role in attracting talent. For new rappers, working with someone like Yo Gotti isn't just about studio time or a record deal, it's about validation. Signing under Gotti gives an artist legitimacy, a connection to the streets, and a co-sign that can be just as valuable as a major radio hit. Many young artists are drawn in by this aura of authenticity, believing that aligning with Gotti is the fast track to respect in their hometowns and the broader hip-hop community. But Gotti's street credibility is more than image, it's strategic influence. By maintaining a reputation as a trustworthy, connected, and street-smart figure, he creates a psychological advantage. Artists feel loyalty and often defer to his guidance, while competitors recognize his reach and influence, discouraging them from encroaching on his territory. Essentially, Gotti turns respect into a form of control. This credibility also amplifies CMG's brand. Fans are more likely to support artists under Gotti's umbrella because they trust his judgment. They believe that someone with real street knowledge wouldn't back a project that isn't authentic. This perception drives streams, social media engagement, and merch sales, all of which feed back into Gotti's financial ecosystem. Another way street cred impacts his empire is conflict management and negotiation. In hip-hop, personal disputes and competition are constant. Gotti's reputation allows him to mediate, influence, or even orchestrate collaborations that might otherwise be impossible. He leverages his credibility to maintain peace when necessary, while also ensuring that business objectives are prioritized. Artists may rise, fall, or feud, but Gotti remains untouchable, both financially and reputationally. Gotti also understands the importance of bridging street and mainstream culture. While maintaining authenticity, he positions CMG artists for commercial success. This dual approach, street respect plus mainstream appeal, creates a powerful combination. It boosts credibility, expands the fanbase, and maximizes profit. Every new artist under CMG benefits from this balance, but Gotti ensures the ultimate leverage always remains with him. Finally, street cred gives him a unique storytelling advantage. In interviews, features, or social media, Gotti's narrative reinforces the image of a self-made mogul who understands the grind. This narrative attracts not only artists and fans but also potential business partners, investors, and collaborators. Every deal, every contract, and every collaboration benefits from the authority that comes from being someone who walks the walk in the streets and the industry. In short, Yo Gotti's street cred isn't just a reputation, it's a strategic asset. It draws talent in, motivates loyalty, attracts fans, and strengthens his bargaining power at every level. By blending authenticity with business strategy, Gotti ensures that his influence is respected and his empire continues to grow. By now, it's clear that Yo Gotti isn't just a rapper, he's a master strategist, a businessman, and a mogul who has turned talent, opportunity, and the ambition of others into a $500 million empire. But beyond the music, there are lessons in his approach that anyone, whether an artist, entrepreneur, or hustler, can learn. The first lesson is leverage is everything. Gotti recognized early that talent alone doesn't guarantee wealth or power. What matters is how you use influence, connections, and resources to create opportunities. For new artists, this means understanding the terms of deals, knowing the value of your work, and ensuring you retain control over critical assets. For entrepreneurs, it means understanding the systems around you and positioning yourself where power resides. Gotti's empire is built on the idea that the right leverage multiplies opportunity and profit. Second, Gotti shows the importance of strategic mentorship. He offers guidance, studio access, and promotion to new artists, but always within a structure that benefits him. The lesson here isn't just about giving help, it's about creating mutually beneficial relationships while protecting your own interests. In business or music, mentorship is powerful, but it's most effective when both sides understand the value exchange. Another key takeaway is monetization at every turn. Gotti doesn't just focus on record sales, he monetizes streams, tours, merch, endorsements, and brand partnerships. Every interaction is an opportunity to generate revenue. For new artists, this is a reminder to think beyond the music itself, to see every aspect of your craft as a potential source of income. For anyone in business, it's a lesson in maximizing every opportunity and leaving no value unclaimed. Timing and momentum are equally critical. Gotti finesses the flow of his artists' careers, strategically promoting them when it matters most. He understands that perception drives attention, and attention drives money. For aspiring musicians or businesspeople, the lesson is clear: being patient, strategic, and deliberate about when to make moves can make the difference between fleeting success and lasting dominance. Perhaps most importantly, Gotti's story teaches the power of reputation and credibility. His street cred isn't just for show, it's a tangible asset that allows him to attract talent, influence peers, and maintain authority. Whether in hip-hop or business, how others perceive you can open doors, build loyalty, and create leverage that money alone cannot buy. Finally, Gotti exemplifies long-term thinking. He's not chasing quick fame or temporary hits. Every move, every signing, every promotion, every business deal, is part of a larger strategy to build lasting wealth and influence. Aspiring artists and entrepreneurs alike can learn from this mindset. Success isn't about short-term wins, it's about structuring your career and your empire for sustainable growth. Yo Gotti's journey from the streets of Memphis to a $500 million empire shows that success in music isn't just about talent, it's about strategy, leverage, credibility, and vision. By understanding the lessons behind his rise, anyone can start thinking like a mogul, protecting their interests, maximizing opportunities, and creating systems where every move builds toward long-term dominance. Yo Gotti's story isn't just about music, it's about mastering the game, understanding leverage, and turning opportunity into empire. If you're an aspiring artist, the takeaway is clear: talent alone won't make you rich. You need to know how to protect your work, negotiate wisely, and understand the business behind the bars. Every deal, every feature, every move matters, and the earlier you learn that, the better positioned you'll be to succeed. For entrepreneurs, Gotti's journey is a blueprint for building wealth. He shows that control, strategy, and credibility are far more valuable than short-term wins. Whether you're running a business, launching a brand, or building a personal empire, think long-term. Protect your assets, structure your opportunities, and make sure every move counts. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more deep dives into how hip-hop moguls build their empires, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're not just talking music, we're talking money moves, business strategy, and the lessons behind the artists you love. Drop a comment below and tell us what you think. If you had the chance to sign with Gotti, knowing what we just revealed, would you take it? Would you play the game, or would you strike out on your own? Your opinion might spark a conversation that others need to hear. And remember, success isn't just about who's got the hottest track, it's about who's thinking strategically, protecting their future, and building an empire. Take these lessons, apply them to your life, and start thinking like a mogul today. The streets, the studio, and the charts are all part of the game, but knowledge is the ultimate power. Stay smart, stay hungry, and keep grinding. Gotti built his empire step by step, and now it's your turn to learn from it.